everybody, and welcome back once again to Let's Play Disco Elysium. And in the last session, we came here to the south, where we talked with some people, did some shopping for some sunglasses with no intention to buy, and ended up here in the pawn shop selling some postcards. Right, for today, we are going to see if we can chase up a further lead regarding the lorry driver that could well be smuggling some drugs, and then after we finish that, we're going to kick Kitsuragi to the curb so we can get on with business that he's best left out of. Such as, you know, speaking with a lady we hit on and potentially looking for some cocaine to sniff, you know? Those kind of things. Kitsuragi wouldn't be interested. Now what's this? A sewer grate. A gateway to the river of filth. So apparently the lady lorry driver is linked with the drugs, and the only lady lorry driver we know of is the one that we talked to without Kitsuragi for the first time, the Spanish sounding one. So we're going to first of all speak to this guy to see if he has any further information, then the other guy over there, and then we'll go to her last, once we have all the pieces of the puzzle hopefully.
Still here, stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
Yes, what is up is I heard that one of the drivers is a woman. Perhaps a woman that's not present here? Asking if he knows who this lady driver is. He shifts around suddenly uncomfortable and looks away. I don't want to talk about that. And why? Do you know something? Spill the beans. Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. He bites his lip. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker, and I don't know where she is. I seem to recall asking you before about this drug situation, and you said you didn't know. Now you've changed your tune. I didn't, man. Look, I told you. I was hoping it's not her, that she wouldn't be mixed up in it. Who is it? Who is this person? What's her name? Come on. I don't have time for games. Thank God I don't know. People here call her the lady driver. She kept her name a secret. From me too. Now I see why. What does she look like? A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way. What colour hair? Blue and violet. Dyed, he answers reluctantly. It was violent when she got here, blue before she went. Then she may have dyed it again. And who is she to you? How do you know her? A friend? An acquaintance? I don't know. She was only the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay? When did she leave? Damn, I don't want to... He looks you straight in the eye. Please, just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person. I know that much. We can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation. That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation? He shakes his head. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience. It won't come to that. We won't pursue her on this. This is information only. I don't believe you. Look, listen. You said she's troubled. How? Just show a bit of concern, you know? Maybe loosen his lips a bit. She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness. When you think it's all over and you're looking for a way out. She shared this with you? Yes, which is why I don't want to snitch on her. It's not snitching. It's just a few questions. It's snitching, man. I know what it is. Look, I was told everyone's afraid of her. You don't appear to be. I heard the rumours. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me too that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her. Did this violent life include drug trafficking? Well, he sighs. It looks like it did now, but we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind. Her mind? The way it worked, the trouble it was giving her. The pain it was causing her. When she left, did she leave her lorry behind? Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out. The grey-haired woman? Maybe she knows something. Push Tommy, and it will break his heart and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals. Now is not the time to focus on feelings. You need that info, son. It's right here. The answer is right here. You just need to ask him. Come on, do it. So if we push him on this, it sounds like we're going to, like with Kudo, close him off for good. For any other further help. There is the woman who, the woman over there. She might have this information, giving us what we need and keeping him on our side just in case we need him further. Okay, so I think because there is an obvious alternative, we're going to drop it for now, but if we draw up a blank and time is ticking, we will return here. Thank you, friend, he sighs. It's a big sigh of relief. Whew. Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again. You are smoking. Would help with my rhymes too. Okay. You must think we're bloody blind. So let's go speak with the weirdo lady. See what she has to say about this other woman driver. In fact, we'll speak with the racist guy as well. We've got to exhaust all avenues before we potentially close ourselves to any further interactions with that guy.
No, man. You caught me at an opportune moment. This awful weather gives me away. You can entertain me with your questions.
I can entertain you in 1,001 ways, he probably thinks to himself. Alright. Are you the lady driver? Did you just call me a lady, Zarif? She clearly doesn't think she's a lady. Don't repeat it. I was told of a woman driver. You're the only woman here. I'm not that either, Zarif. Her smile dissipates. I've gone too far from it all to remember what was between my legs. It doesn't work like that on the long haul. So you're not the driver everyone is terrified of. I'm only terrifying to small children, and to those who used to know me. Okay. To small children and those who used to... Why are you scary to the people who used to know you? It just piques our interest. Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was. Okay. Then who is this female driver I was told of? The quicker you tell me, the quicker I'm off your case. How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other commissioners? I can't even speak today. Remember I have my movies to go to? Oh, she's not helping. It's not good. What do you mention? What do you mean by the long haul? That's the big ones, the tracts. There's no women and men there. It's all just... She hums along as if to a track on repeat. In the middle of this town, there's a ghostly motorway. It takes all the people where they want to stay. You feel very cold suddenly, as if standing face to face with a terrifying adversary, and the feeling dissipates, and all you see is an aging woman. Okay, thank you. Oh, Sim. The woman stares at you, her mind elsewhere now, on other matters. That's not a good sign for our chap up there. She didn't give us the information we need, which means there's only one more line of inquiry. And if he doesn't give us what we need, then, my friends, we could about to be cutting ties with the man who smokes who claims not to smoke.
Looking for something?
You could push him by asking him to show you the soles of his boots. He definitely looks like someone capable of a lynching. Have we not already been here? Okay, we're not gonna... We know that he's probably nothing to do with the lynching. We've got our lead, and that's the people inside. Asking him quite bluntly, where's the lady driver? He smirks. I don't know what you're talking about. First, you knew Sileng didn't do it. He did something. I stole his employer's goods. The lorryman's job. You should be thankful for the tip. He grins, a wide smile. He's been expecting this. He's really puffed himself up. Why are you smirking? Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revershoal West. You don't run matinees. You don't run anything. So who does? You? Or this lady driver? No. The lieutenant turns to the lorryman. He means La Puta Madre. The name resounds like a bell in the air, dark gong. You get a bad feeling about it. Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this. For a moment the lorryman is silent. Then he spits on the pavement. Yeah, him. Yep, just let Kim handle it. Then I presume you're familiar with his peonies? Yeah, he says, unsure where this is leading. They're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions. Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. He gets closer to him. Dirty fucking peonies who do anything for him. Multi-ethnic drug addicts. Yep, we like it when Kitsuragi takes it up a notch. This is usually our job. You're not peonies, he says. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were. No, of course not. We're not peonies, but if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peony's job to find out who that is. It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry. He looks at him. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief. His eyes dart between you and the lieutenant. I'm not scared of you, or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorrymen and Carter's Guild. You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armour there, swinging from the tree? The lieutenant points to the yard. Did this shitty little guild protect him? Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you... He tries to light a fresh cigarette, but his hands are shaking now. The sentence simply ends, and this is where Kitsuragi has his man. Oh, we like his style. The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod. I've softened him up as best as I could. Now it's on you to finish the job, and whenever there's a time for Half-Light to kick in our strongest suit, now is the time. Make him tell you what he knows by any means necessary. Men like this only respect two things: strength and fear. Time to turn up the volume. Ha ha! Show me her lorry right fucking now, before I get angry. The lady driver's lorry. Where is it? Fuck you, I told you, I'm not gonna... There. His voice grows smaller as yours. I've been to your fucking lorry. I know where it is. Pointing right over to it. I'm going to burn it down. You hear me? Burn down your livelihood and ruin your life. And deny all knowledge of it happening. I won't repeat myself a second time. Look, fuck you, man. He tries to wave you off. It's some lorry down there. Green, banged up thick. I don't fucking know who she is. When did she go away? I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days. Now, it's not a big deal for him anymore. This is how he saves face. Where exactly is her lorry? Past the monument. Down there. He waves south. The green tempo. Now leave me the fuck alone, okay? A small tempo. By the monument. Green. He turns to you. Let's get into that lorry. Right. Indeed, let's go. But first, I just want to check if I can sell some tear. Because I really do need a place to stay this evening. So no, just bear with me, please, Kitsuragi. Just bear with me a very quick second. Let me just quickly go in here. Let's build the suspense a bit. Why go rushing to the green lorry when we can sell some trash for a few poxy coins? Insert your bottles. 30. Oh, we're very close. We are very close to being able to afford a night in the whirling rags. But not quite close enough. But we've still got plenty of time to find some more tear or to find some more real lying around. Maybe in that lorry that we're about to take a look at. Maybe there's a bit of coin in there. Who knows? Right, let's go have a look. Come on, Kitsuragi. Time's ticking. It's raining, so let's get a bit of a move on. Let's jog. You know, we all know how much you love running. Right, let's have a look if we can find this green thing here. Ooh, here we are. Here we are. What's this? What is this? Okay, so this is a green Falcon AZ Contemporane, parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days. This must be the one he told us about, unless he was lying. The lieutenant peeks inside. Let's try the door handle first. Locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently been replaced. Let's have a quick peek inside ourselves. The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and two steering levers. It feels like us peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cosy, warm. Dusty too. How are we going to open this, Kim? Brute force? If so, let me at it. Use the pry bar to smash the window. Open it from the inside. Kitsuragi, I don't know if you've had your frosties this morning, but you are really doing it for me. I don't know how good it is, but this investigation has taken long enough. We can't afford it to take any longer. Right, we need to get the pry bar in our inventory. Okay. Okay, that's not working. Just give me a second. Okay, put it in the old right hand. I'm sure we're right-handed. Smash! +1 for lifting weights. You notice that? We lifted weights all the way back in the apartments, the shops and stuff, and, you know, flexed our muscle, and that gives us an extra boost to our ability to smash windows. With a firm grip, you raise the pry bar, a glint of light catching on the tip. Call down the hammer of truth and justice. Release your secrets, lorry cabin. Say, fuck the police and smash it. Welcome to Revershaw and smash it. Or just smash it. There's no need for words. There's no need for apologies. Just action. Firewalker style. Smash the window. Boosh! With a flare and a twirl of the pry bar, poof, the window shatters, and droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement. Subtle, says the lieutenant, and sticks his hand in the window, like a common car thief, and then opens it. The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcome you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals. pull out the toolbox. We're looking for an extra strong pry bar because where that bear fridge was, there's a thing that needs opening. A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty except for a folded newspaper. What is this? An issue of Peripherique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages. Let's take a look at the note, shall we? An article ripped out from a Radio Enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system. These formulas look oddly painful. Maybe it's the hangover, but they give you a headache. The lieutenant leans over your shoulder to examine the note. The Ulan frequency system. I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but his thought trails off. Could that be linked to the radio roleplay game stuff? Interesting. Okay. Let's have a look at the posters. Movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, and even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centrefold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat. Let's have a look at the centrefold, shall we? The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. A feeling of tenderness washes over you, a longing even. Perhaps a gentle tragedy. Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put a finger on whom exactly. Enough of the posters. The actress and the rare actor. Oh, you smile, you can smile you a warm goodbye. Okay, let's have a look at the radio. Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed. Likely by the missing lady driver. Kim leans closer to the radio and hums. Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least. And why would anyone need to have so many radio stations stored? For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example? He flicks a switch on the radio. This is all shortwave. UW and UKV. Looks like we're dealing with an impressive organisational tool. The nerve centre of a huge operation, with quite the range too. Anything we can do with it? Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without the dial key. And finally checking up the pedals. You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like a few tools lying around. A hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench. They've been casually thrown by the disorganised driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Hang on. Didn't one of the people at the hanging have a strange worn pattern on one of her driving boots? And didn't the gang whose name escapes me in the whirling rags, didn't one of them let slip that there was another member, a female member? I'm thinking that this is the one. I'm thinking she's linked to the hanging. I'm thinking she's linked to the drugs trade. I'm thinking she's that member of their little gang that they're trying to protect. Extra grip. Sandpaper, the lieutenant repeats. A novel technique. And sandpaper would rub off the pattern from the driver's right boot sole. Wouldn't you agree, Kitsuragi? Yes. He likes where this is going. Do the honours, he thinks. Connect the dots. And one of the footprints at the crime scene had an aberration. One sole was smoother than the other, if you remember. Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching. The lieutenant's eyes light up behind his prescription lens. The 8th Hardy, indeed. The Hardy, that's it, the Hardy boys. Also the one running the drug trade. She sounds like quite a handful. Now we know for certain who the missing 8th person of the lynching is. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could be also involved in the drug operation? I think the entire union is involved. Not necessarily. Yeah, definitely. Those jerks probably had their finger in many pies too. We shall see what Titus has got to say on the matter. He writes something down in his little notebook. Are we finished with the lorry? I think so for now. You close the rusty lorry door. Great! I think we got everything. A word, detective. He steps away from the lorry. Before we return to Joyce. Ooh. So let's have a look at this. So we can confront the Hardy Boys about the drugs trade. See what Titus has to say, and we can report back to Joyce, which is what we're going to do because she could give us some cash, and we need cash. But before we go to her, let's speak with Kisaragi.
All right, we're finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Right, good idea. It's a pity it's hammering down with rain, though. You could have picked a better spot. Anyway, carry on. What do you think of all this, Kim? Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organised operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net. This means it's well-funded. Technology like that, a major player must be financing it. I'm not sure what the ULAN frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks. Listening in on your calls? Between you and your station? A worrying prospect. And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy Boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at the lynching. This may be the Union connection we've been searching for. The probe and the case converged, he thinks. That was quite the find. Okay. What about those movie posters? Really? Maybe they had a link to this? No, I didn't think so. Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role. Yeah, a lot of women in there for a lady driver's cabin. Yes, well, he doesn't say more. Unimportant? Yeah, so it turns out that this is connected to the Union. Like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, this is an angle we can use against them to other ends, as extra ammunition. Will the RCM open an investigation into this? We should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we're done for the day, I'll call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation. Sometime later when we're done here, we do not want to get caught in that. He stops to think. Go on. You've got that look about you. What are you thinking? The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean, especially if the Madre group is involved. And I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome. Corruption? He nods. All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either. Okay, debrief over? Debrief over. He nods. After you. After you. No, after you, sir. No, after you. Okay, after me, fine. Right, to Joyce then. I was wondering if we should... Hey, officer, got a minute? Oh, here we go. Here we go, fruitcakes. We got a problem. Or do we? We have a pry bar in our hand. Should we remove it first? Do we wish to look threatening at this moment in time? And just bringing up my inventory, it's surely going to be time for some alcohol and a cigarette soon as well. It's been a few hours since the last dose. Perhaps now that we have reached our conclusions and drawn a new lead and connected a few dots, perhaps in ode to celebration, we should probably crack one open. A cold one, that is. Okay, what do you want?
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
What do you care? You weren't too quick to tell us what we wanted to know. Why should we tell you what we want to know? Yeah. Can't disclose the facts of an official investigation. No offence, of course. It's that bad? He lets out a whistle, looking about 10 years older suddenly. Man, what should I do? What should I do to help her? No need for you to get involved. The police are looking into it. We don't want you coming a cropper now, do we? Yeah, maybe I should just keep my head down and work on my rhymes while I can. Yeah, what's the deal with those rhymes anyway? Oh, you know, the thought lightens him up a bit. Tommy Lahom's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft. Tommy Lahom? Tommy Lahom was taken. With an L apostrophe. Sounds very similar though, surely. He shrugs in a what can you do manner. My real name is Geoffrey Lafitte. Tommy's way better. Well, good luck with that, Tommy, but police business to attend to. Be safe, detective. Yeah, to be fair, he's an alright kind of guy. Right, I don't know how long we've been going for. Claire, I don't have my timings up. Just give me a second, I'll have a look. Ah, only 34 minutes. It's probably going to be shorter than that by the time I cut a couple of bits out. So we'll continue for another 10 or so. Okay, so we have to go and speak with Joyce, and there's no time like the present. I was weighing up speaking with the Hardy Boys first, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. So we'll go speak with good old Joyce, and hopefully she'll reward us for our due diligence with some coin. Enough coin for us to stay another night in the Hilton. This is going to be a long conversation, I feel. Might be longer than 10 minutes, in fact.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
She probably knows we've talked to Everard Clare. And to be honest with you, I don't think she would care. I'm kind of intrigued to what she thinks about him and keeping her in the loop and all that. Or should we just keep them both in the dark about our dealings with him? I trust her more than I trust him, but maybe that could be a mistake. You know what? We'll just leave it for now. Just sticking with business. We spoke with the lorry men at the roundabout. And we have some news. Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? Eyes, you say? Have you been spying on me? It doesn't really matter, and I do apologise for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you've discovered there is an operation. The lieutenant is about to interject. Cut him off. This decision should be yours. Yes, do you know what? Yes, authority is saying so. We are doing the talking here. Exactly. But what? Share the information? Oh. No. Oh. No. There'll be an investigation, that's all I can say. Okay, I don't think he'd have shared it, no chance. Okay, I thank you for sharing that much with me. She exhales as though a weight has been lifted from her shoulders. My employer thanks you as well. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement, now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands. The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron strawberries. Bloodbath, you say? Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Revachol West. Since you're sharing man, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario. Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. Okay, well, I've already heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike, but I need your testimony. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. A momentary lapse of faith, you say? They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer. Every worker? A member of the board, she nods. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humour. So, do you need a security detail? Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering. Who are they exactly? Krenel, an Oronese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armour, have semi-automatic weapons and years of combat experience. They have also trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. So what happened? The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night. And then what? Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Krenel contractors carry out their orders. For now. For now? It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow. What is the nature of this so-called investigation? Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants? It'll be all of them. The decision is already made. Oh dear. Well, maybe our investigations could team up, share intelligence and resources. What do you say? Might make matters a lot more straightforward. Surely you're joking. These people are killers. My only hope is that yours provide a single concrete suspect before they indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, she grabs hold of the mainsail. If you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond. They would have to project strength and power. The Debardeaux have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1. Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armour is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. She is silent for a moment, then concludes, as I said, a bloodbath. Maybe a good bloodletting is just what Martinez needs. Houses drenched in red blood, gushing down Rue de Saint-Cesper, the whole place mopped with a giant red flag, fresh bullet holes for all the old buildings. Indeed, isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you are describing? And it appears that we are the key to stopping this. Many bleak scenarios have already come true. She looks at you, eyes damp from the wind. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia? All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into a civil court, and I may be able to defuse the situation. Okay. What can you tell me about Krenel? Not much. Their public resume is relatively good as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. Down a deep black well. They boast a long list of clients: St. Baptiste, Welshman Lawrence, Ian Dract. A warning sign, however, the operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries, guarding facilities, escort missions and such, meaning they're used to operating in war zones. Yes, all the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yisut, the Seminoles Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil. Okay, anything else? Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. She thinks. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though, she thinks. Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am? In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I would be dealing with a group like Krenel. Could you contact the company, tell them to call them off? I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us. You said the deceased assaulted a woman. Or he didn't. She tilts her head. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. What teenagers? And what did they say? That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman? I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez. This does not come as news to us, but still, he exchanges a glance with you. To your knowledge, where did this assault take place, if you know? Last Sunday night at the Whirling in Rags. The hostel by the gates. Supposedly the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him. And who was this woman? Again, keeping it under wraps. That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumour about a rumour. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe. So did you know this colonel who was hanged? If you mean did I see him alive, yes. But I did not know him. His name? Lely. His service name? A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. Anything else about this Lely? Nationality? How old he was? He was 40, or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions. Indeed. Okay, this matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. He says to you, and then turns back to Joyce. What else? Nationality, accent? He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent. Oranese or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. She nods. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once. So where are the other two? They've gone to ground. I don't recommend seeking them out. She puts her foot on the guard wire for balance. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages? It will not be a fruitful meeting. Vigilantes? You're a professional officer of the legitimate authority in Revachol. You should show these meatheads exactly how savage you really are. We still need to know where they are. You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved. Where are they? Pressing on. One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers. Ah. Scab leader, one of them, right? That may be so. She is poised and unperturbed. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest. For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gates is a powder keg. Does this not bother you? Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant, but my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union? Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace. And another is probably in a building overlooking the roundabout. That would afford a good vantage point, she says. In any case, it's practically inaccessible. Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece? Heavens, no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a shortwave at the ship's wheel. She nods toward the sloop's cabin. How much time do we have? Until the executions start. Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience. They don't report their progress to you? Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. There is a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay. 5 days. Not more. Maybe sooner. It's a matter of days. Not weeks. Okay, it's enough for now, apparently. I'm sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask. Right. Tattoos. You said you'd tell me about them? Of course. Excuse my hesitation before. She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand. For about half a minute, in silence. It is taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs. Stay quiet and observant. Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. We've looked for long enough. What do you think? Sorry. She breaks her concentration. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars? She points to one on the photo paper. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Like blooms in a pattern. Close, she nods. Port cities. This is an Orangese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by the wayfarers of the DeLorean century over 300 years ago. The sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels. What is the use of this map? The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption, to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it. Where is he now? I've spoken to him. For now the soul is fastened inside his corpse. Indeed we have spoken to him, many times. She remains unfazed. That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse. What travels did the dead men make? Quite a few. Reda Fort, the Orangese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. She points to it on the photo. He started somewhere near here, I think. What next? Then he made his way to the Prito Grande through what I think must be Stad's Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Prito he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Seminoles Islands, and this, she points to his heart. What is that? Revachol, she says. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of the Insulindi, at the dawn of the intersolary age. You said you can't read it. I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning. Who could tell me more? His platoon members? The other contractors? Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade. Challenge accepted. I say we do it. Yeah, we like to ruffle a few feathers every now and then. Do what you have to do, detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security, but if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you. We will be careful, man. You will be careful. We're going to go in fly kicking, spin kicking and cartwheeling, all whilst wearing our shades and looking cool. That's all. Thank you for your help. Okay. Do you know what? She's told us a fair bit. We're going to tell her about Everard, Claire. You have. She smiles carefully. And how did you like Mr. Clare? Finally, time to choose sides. To be honest with you, we didn't. Oh, come now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually, she answers her own question. Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic worm-like corruption reaching into the bowels of the earth. She looks at the ground and nods. The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides. Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I am not a corrupt worm myself. She turns to you. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be, she smiles, gossiping. Tell her she'll like you for it. I mean, our electrochemistry is urging us to tell her, and we kind of succumb to our electrochemistry. So if we're willing to snort drugs and to drink alcohol on the job, I mean, what's telling her a few little bits of information about what we've done for Everard Clare? She may be able to shed some light on why we're doing certain things. This is probably not good, but hey, we can't help ourselves. He asked me to open the door. A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM? She waves her hand. Don't answer that. No, I mean a real door. To someone's house. Oh my! A real door? Huh. The lieutenant does not say anything, but you hear the nylon of his jacket rustle as he looks at you. Yes, I helped scare someone for Mr. Clare. My, what am I hearing? She says, you inspected a premises because you suspected that it was involved in the narcotics trade? And, in the process, you turned up some information relevant to your investigation, only from Everard, surprisingly. Her bartering mind cannot fathom that you didn't ask anything in return. Yes, how foolish of us. Frankly, what was done was not pretty at all, but neither was it illegal, and it was not for nothing. He turns to you. Uh-oh, this seems serious. I advise you to be very selective with what information you choose to share. This may have consequences beyond our line of sight. Okay, fine. It's such a fine line, isn't it? Naturally, Detective. There are lighter topics to gossip about. I think we're done gossiping for now, actually. I've had a second thought. Of course. She simmers down. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Maybe when he's gone, maybe when he's gone, we're sending him away soon. Perhaps we'll come back for a cup of tea on the boat and share our gossip. Until then, is there anything I can help you with? Not for now. Unless you have any coin. Right, we didn't get any money out of that. That's unfortunate. We've levelled up. And we've got a couple of new leads about the tattoos. Right. We do need to go and speak with the Hardy Boys. Apparently. Where's that? Yeah, confront Hardy Boys about the drug trade. It's the kind of thing that we need to do with Kitsuragi, so we're going to go and do that with Kitsuragi. Or in fact, we could actually do that tomorrow. Yeah, do you know what? It's 16:52. We've been on the case, official business, most of the day. I think it's time to let our hair down. Kitsuragi, in the next session, we're going to boot him to the curb. Ask him to take that body for processing, and while he's gone, we've got lots to do. Fun to be had, drugs to find, and information to share with an innocent old lady on a boat. Yes. Isn't that right, Kitsuragi? So, yeah, join me next time to see what the hell Costello gets up to when Kitsuragi's gone. And I have a feeling it's not going to be good. Until then, see you soon.